Hey everybody, so this is my final day in Portland after a wondrous adventure. And I thought some of you might be curious to get a sense of what the downtown protest zone area looks like in the daytime, when obviously the level of chaos is much lesser. So I'm gonna just So I'm just sorry, a phone call came in there, which I should have disabled. So I'm just going to tool around a little bit here, and especially if you're not familiar with the area, or you've never been to a 60-plus day consecutive protest, it's worth taking a look. So here you go. And now, right now, I'm sort of on the perimeter, a little far away from the perimeter of where the protest action happened. So I'm just going to walk in that direction and narrate. Okay, so here we go. And thankfully, during the day, I'm unlikely to get physically accosted. Although, in fairness, it only happened once. And, and all things considered, it could have been worse. So I'm not too hung up about it. But, coming at whatever time it is right now, like 12:45 or something, probably going to be just fine. So here's the graffiti removal service truck. Once we get to the courthouse, you'll see some guys working to, remove the copious amount of graffiti, which, as you can already tell, is affixed to the exterior of the federal courthouse. Now, supposedly what happened yesterday is that there was a quote-unquote phased withdrawal, as like we're in Afghanistan or something, of the federal forces who had been deployed here. And I wasn't here last night. I was working on something. But apparently was a rather low-key night, comparatively speaking. But I highly doubt that there's ever going to be a full withdrawal, quote unquote, of federal forces here, although they might not be as visible. Take a look at that Twitter account, or I will later. But for example, Trump threatened something like, he's giving 2 days in order to get things under control, or the feds are going to go back in, or I don't know what exactly the threat was. Yeah, so this right here is where the big action tends to go down nightly. See, people are filming. Maybe those old folks are live streaming just like me. And at night there's no traffic here. It's shut down at the intersection over there by quote-unquote protesters who set up traffic barricades, and they're just permitted by the police to direct traffic themselves. So seeing cars freely traveling right now is a alien sight, unless if you've only known this area during the night. When I was here before, there were the graffiti removal people were working. I don't know where they are now. You can kind of see them, I think. Hey, how you doing?
How are you?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Not bad.
What happened recently? Did the state police come in and they switched with the federal forces, or what happened?
Like, they didn't switch to the federal forces. They're augmenting, so state police here now.
State police is here now? Is that that's state police right there?
We're working in conjunction with each other.
Oh.
We're working in coordination. Hopefully, that state police can be a conduit to help bring the tensions down.
Okay.
So the goal is that state police will come in, be a conduit, bring the tensions down to allow people to be able to effectively protest within the limits of the law, and we can minimize our footprint, our federal footprint here in the federal city.
So you're federal. You're DHS.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Did I answer your question?
Yeah, I did. Thank you. I appreciate that. So there's not a full quote unquote withdrawal of the federal personnel. It's just sort of maybe a shift in the nature of the mission.
Well, I mean, I think that there may be some unrealistic expectations that, number one, there's never going to be 100% full withdrawal of federal officers from the federal building.
Right.
Because it's our jurisdiction to secure the federal building and to keep the court system safe. So there's never going to be 100% withdrawal.
Right.
But the hope is that it won't require a surge of us, and we go back down to our normal footprint.
Right.
That we normally have every day, that we maintain well before the protest started.
Yeah. And has this sort of special unit that was here that had the more full garb and is engaged in sort of crowd control, are they still?
So, are you talking about the one that were in the fatigues?
Yeah, in the fatigues, yeah.
So the hope is that we can transition, or there's not going to be a need for them to come out. So that's one of the reasons we have OSP here to help with that.
That's why you have the Oregon State Police here to right.
To take that lead.
But they're still available in the event that they are needed.
Yeah, in the event that things go sideways really bad and it's needed, we'll do that. But the hope is we don't have to go there.
Yep. Gotcha. All right, thanks a lot for chatting. I appreciate it.
No problem at all. Thank
Yep.
you. Take care, okay?
Yep. How you doing? I'm good, thank you. So, is the idea that the Oregon State Police could maybe replace or augment the federal forces in the fatigues and things that had been here before, or that the presence of the Oregon State Police could be sufficient so that you don't need the federal forces out in as full presence as they were before? Peaceful transition. All right, gotcha. Thank you. Hello. Wow, everybody's so friendly. I guess that's your contrast between the daytime and the nighttime, where the officers are waving hello and everybody's in a good mood. So, yeah, you note that phrase "peaceful transition" as if, it's Iraq and you're handing over power from the occupying interim government to the local government. That's sort of the terminology being used, apparently. Yeah, so this is sort of the big park where, during the night there's a lot more set up, where you have the quote riot ribs distributed, and just a lot more infrastructure during the night. There comes a time when silence is racist. Well, that's unfortunate. So just, I'm not even going to comment on that. I mean, okay, so I tweeted out a photo of this earlier. White supremacy rule my life. Be trans. Throw hands. Okay. And then as you can see, in so much of the surrounding area here in the city, stuff is boarded up, partially from the riots which occurred in Portland, just as they did in so many other places on that first weekend. Let's see, some kind of local news crew here. But then also there's still sort of quote unquote riotous activity sporadically happening even now. So it makes sense to keep things boarded up, because if you're one of these small businesses like this one here, why would you remove your boards right now? That wouldn't make much sense, because by all indications the protests are set to go on in perpetuity, but they might die down actually somewhat, just given the less forceful presence now, apparently, of the feds. Although, as that DHS officer said, it's not like they're gone. They're just going to be less visible. So I talked to the clerk in the 7-Eleven before, and she was saying how she's sick of the protests just because, it's just a pain every night. And yeah, I mean, just blocks and blocks of boarded up establishments. There are some where you have, fairly comprehensive art projects. That's a sort of a trend that you see around the country, where all this plywood has been converted into a communal art project. So it almost gives the impression as though that the riots are in a sense sort of state sanctioned, because if you riot and you smash up windows, you're then, you, broadly speaking, are then rewarded with the opportunity to turn it into a fun art project. So then then you have every incentive to keep it going. And of course, here are the political salesmen. You see it often at events like presidential rallies and things. So, should I get that shirt? So here's the Apple store, and as you can tell, big time art project. I'm assuming this would probably be with the consent of Apple, although I'm not sure. But I can't imagine they would have a problem with it. They would probably encourage it, given the predilections of their sort of corporate culture. Louis Vuitton, etc. Yeah, so like I said, this is going to be my my final day in Portland. I'm going to head out directly from here. Actually, I think I've seen enough. I finished the article that I was writing this morning. Hopefully, should be out relatively soon. Kind of summarizing my impressions. But yeah, everybody's out here just like me, taking all the photos in the world because why not? Here we go. Here's the community art project. Yeah, and they get to put their Instagram on there. It's a lesser known courthouse. So it's like, it almost becomes like almost a tourist attraction. I mean, you come just to check out. I mean, I guess I'm in a way guilty of this as well, even though I'm doing something roughly construed as journalism. Yeah, but just like this lady here, you know, she's just coming and taking the photos of all the nice street art. Why not, right? Nice summer day, July 31st. Makes all the sense in the world. But yeah, I mean, people are gonna, you know, when they deny that, you know, a lot of Portland is boarded up, I'm just gonna show them this video because, you know, weirdly, you do often get denials from people when you just mention the extent of the, I don't know, disruption to what you might call ordinary life. I mean, this amount of boarding up is not quote unquote normal. And some of it probably has to do still with the decreased economic activity associated with the pandemic. But, you know, not all. No community art project on Sephora, which is odd. This is the Starbucks where I was recommended to go to the bathroom because there were no bathrooms available in the sandwich shop that I just had lunch at. You can see the Portland Trailblazers there. I thought I heard that they came out for a protest recently, or maybe that was Milwaukee. Yeah, I think that was Milwaukee, never mind. But it's possible they did as well. But that would have been sort of immediately after the George Floyd protest, because now they're all in Orlando for the quote-unquote bubble NBA season. Yeah, so you guys get the point. I mean, so I don't want to hear that, you know, there's nothing boarded up in Portland or everything is just totally normal. If you support Trump, you support trans misogyny. So, for anybody who happens to support Trump in this live stream, sorry to break it to you. Yeah, so okay, so does this suffice in terms of demonstrating that a lot of downtown Portland is boarded up? Or, you know, am I going to still have to deal with Okay, I don't know, my screen froze. Apparently. After a text came in. So I don't know if you could hear me or not. Don't know what happened. But I guess I'll leave it there. Take care, everybody.